Hey BCM, hope you're doing well and hope you're being safe and healthy. And just wanted to bring you greetings, kind of update you where we are. Who knew that a couple weeks ago that we would gather here at C3 for our last BCM? But here we are, and you guys are scattered about. And so we just have been praying and thinking through how we can best connect with you in the coming weeks. In this age of social distancing, it's really important to remember that social distancing does not mean isolation. And as you guys have scattered about, it's really easy to find yourself feeling isolated or feeling alone. And so as a ministry, we want to make sure that you feel connected in every way possible. And so we've been praying through ways to make that happen. And so in the next couple of days, you're going to see some things that we're going to release as a way of trying to get us connected again. First of all, this video has been posted on our YouTube channel, and so we're going to be releasing content, hopefully multiple times a week, for you as a way for you to engage, for you to kind of catch up on what's going on, to be encouraged, but also a way for us to kind of join in together with what the Lord is teaching us and things like that. We're also going to be using our Instagram heavily, and so make sure you follow us on Instagram, Coastal BCM. And we'll be doing some contests. We'll be doing some questions about prayer requests. We'll be releasing kind of things like Bible verse of the day and things like that. We also will be releasing and launching a reading plan. And so one of the ways that we feel like we can stay connected is if we're reading the same thing together. And so this can be in place of or alongside your normal devotional material. Many of us have found ourselves with minutes and hours that we didn't know we had. And so I would just encourage you to read along with us, to digest what the Lord is teaching us in these times, and to really dig in and use this time for Him to mold us and to shape us into more like Himself. Also taking our small groups virtual, so we'll be doing some online small group stuff. This will be an option for those groups that have already been meeting, but also we're going to launch some new times for those of you who maybe just want to get into a connection group where we can see each other on a platform that brings us together, and we can dive into the Word and pray together weekly for that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're on the lookout for times you can join in a small group. I want to encourage you with a scripture. Someone shared this scripture with me, and just has really been an encouragement. And for you, I think it's my prayer for us as well. Paul wrote the book of Colossians, and in it, he's really focusing on the supremacy of Jesus and how Jesus is supreme and that our lives should look like that. And in his final greetings to the church of Colossae, he says these things. He says, "Continue steadfastly in prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving. And at the same time, pray also for us that God may open to us a door for the word to declare the mystery of Christ, on account of which I am in prison, that I may make it clear which is how I ought to speak. Walk in wisdom towards outsiders, making the best use of time, and let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person." In this time of uncertainty, there's a lot of people spreading rumors. There's a lot of people speculating. There's a lot of people saying things that they've heard from a friend to a friend to a friend. The reality is that none of us really know what's going on. Sometimes it feels like we're in prison. Sometimes it feels like the isolation is we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything. And so sometimes we just grab onto the first thing we hear and start spreading some things that might not be true. The reality is I'm not an expert, you're not an expert. And so we really don't know what's going on, but we know that God is sovereign and that God is in control. And that even in times and circumstances that are unknown, God is known, and so we cling to Him. I love how Paul writes this, and as he's writing, he's talking about how he's in prison, and yet he's praying for a way that he should be able to answer people. And that's really what I've been hoping is as doors have been opened for times of uncertainty, where questions where people don't know how they're going to pay their mortgages or pay their bills, or people don't know how things are going to happen. The reality is that all of it points us back to Jesus. And so I've been praying that my words would be seasoned with salt, that I would be a person of hope and not fear, that I'd be a person of faith and not peddling fear as well. So we need to be smart, but we also need to cling in faith to Jesus, who he is. And so I'm just thankful for this passage for you. And again, I just remind you, like I said earlier, is that social distancing does not mean isolation. And so hopefully what we need to understand is that there's a way for us to dig in, and we have the tools and technology to do that. And so I would encourage you to do that over the next several weeks as we figure out what life looks like online, as we figure out what this semester looks like as we finish in a virtual way. And so some of those things I mentioned to you, just continue to follow our Instagram to stay tuned, stay engaged. We're going to be doing some prizes, some giveaways there as well. If you don't get our weekly text, make sure you get on that text club, because that's going to be some way we share information as well. So if you are not currently subscribed to our text club, you can do that by texting the message at Coastal BCM, one word, at Coastal BCM, to the number 81010. Again, that's at Coastal BCM to the number 81010. And also just follow our social media platforms, and we'll get the information to you as best we can. We're praying for you. If there's something we can do to help out, anything we can do to serve you, or if you have ideas of how we can serve one another better, or how we can connect, or even how we can serve this community in times where there is a social distancing and there is a sense of which we have to be careful, make sure you let us know. We would be more than happy to have that conversation of how we as a ministry can serve this community, serve the campus community, and things like that. So we look forward to catching up. I look forward to hopefully seeing some of your faces on some calls. And please let us know if you need anything. We're praying for you. See you later.